Hi everyone, welcome back to GenX podcast. I lost it. Start over.
Okay.
Hey everyone, welcome back to GenX podcast. With Matt and Allie. Hello, welcome back to GenX podcast with Matt and Allie.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Allie. And this week we are doing my request, my movie, The Breakfast Club, directed and produced and written by Mr. John Hughes, who we are very big fans of. So
We are.
Yeah.
A brain, a beauty, a jock, a rebel, and a recluse.
Can't believe this is really happening to me.
Before this day is over, they'll break the rules.
Chicks cannot hold their smoke. That's what it is.
Bare their souls.
I'm a nymphomaniac.
Are your parents aware of this?
Take some chances.
Being bad feels pretty good, huh?
And touch each other in a way they never dreamed possible.
Why'd you do that?
'Cause I knew you wouldn't.
The Breakfast Club. They only met once,
I don't want to be alone anymore.
You don't have to be.
but it changed their lives forever.
I mean, I consider you guys my friends. I'm not wrong, am I?
Universal Pictures presents Emilio Estevez, Paul Gleason, Anthony Michael Hall, Judd Nelson, Molly Ringwald, and Ali Sheedy in a John Hughes film.
Why are you being so nice to me? Because you're letting me.
The Breakfast Club.
I showed this to her I don't know, a few years back when she was like 12 or 13, and she liked it. She's seen it again on her own since, and a lot of the shows she watched because growing up kind of always made references to this movie.
It's just one show, by the way.
Just the one show did it?
Just the one show.
Okay, what was it called again?
Victorious.
Yeah, where they
had
did
like a whole episode.
that was like the Breakfast Club. Yeah. All right. I remember you watching it, and I'm going like, "Do you even get this?" And you're like, "Yeah, Dad." You showed me I guess I had already showed you the movie. I forgot I did. But anyhow, so you want to talk about what we thought of the movie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
You want to do grades?
Grades? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you go first.
So I'll give it an A-. I think it's a really good movie. I think it's funny, and I think it has really good elements to it, good characters.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely not like a masterpiece, and it's not like awesome. It's like it's good. It's really good, but it's not A+ or A. So A- is fitting for me.
I'm gonna give it a B.
Okay.
It is a good movie, but it's not a great movie. And I wrote some notes, and so I just kind of want to read those real quick. So I had a few likes and dislikes. So the likes, as far as the likes, it goes, The Breakfast Club does succeed because it taps into a lot of the emotions and struggles that almost every high school student can relate to, insecurity, pressure from parents, loneliness, identity, and the desire to fit in. The performances do help sell those emotions. They're all pretty good actors, and good casting. And the movie mixes, really, genuine heartfelt moments with humor, and it keeps it engaging. What I didn't like about it is that a lot of the characters feel overly stereotypical and exaggerated. The characters are intentionally written as archetypes. So you get the rebel, the jock, the princess, the brain, the outsider, and it does help the movie's message, but it can also make the characters feel a little less unrealistic at times. And some of the emotional breakthroughs and personality changes also happen too quickly for me. Bender is just such a jerk through the whole thing, and just so, one arm's length for everybody, and then next thing you know, he's dancing with the other two guys on the table. Really, that didn't feel real. And so moments like that just kind of they felt more symbolic than realistic. So, but overall, I'll say the movie is emotionally honest, and even when it's not always believable, it does capture how teenagers feel underneath the labels that they're given. So I'll give it that. I think every person that watches that who's been through high school in the last 50 years can identify with one of those 5 characters. I myself would say I identified the most probably with Brian. And I do like that, even though he's the geek, or the brain. He doesn't dress like your stereotypical 80s geek with the tape on the glasses and the like Revenge of the Nerds, you know. He's a more nuanced geek. The way he dresses is kind of normal, actually. And so, yeah, and I would say that, like, I was also, you know, I dressed like a skater all through high school, but yeah, some kids would still just call me a geek, and I wasn't even like terribly great in school, but like, because I was smaller or whatever, and you know, so I'd get labeled as a geek from time to time. And although I wouldn't say I was a wimp, Brian seems kind of a wimp. I did fight back, only just because I had a big brother who was like 3 years older than me and like beat me up regularly and made me fight kids in the neighborhood. So like, I definitely didn't take, you know, I got bullied, but like I always fought back. So, but like, I would say Brian, who I identify with the most. It was definitely no jock, and I was definitely no bender. I wasn't some criminal, you know, and I didn't get abused at home. So, how about you?
I mean, this is more your opinion than mine, because I don't really feel like I relate to her
Well,
that much.
again, I'm not Brian, and you're not Claire, but I'd say that's the one that's closest to you.
Right.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I guess I'm Princess Claire, you know.
Well, you do have a pretty good home life, like she does,
right,
and we're not rich, but we're certainly not
but I'm
struggling
not, like,
like
a
Bender. You
conceited
know.
popular girl.
No, I wouldn't say you're conceited. I'd say you're probably more popular than some other girls in school. You know, you definitely like, you're not like in the top 1% maybe, but you're definitely. I see your friends, and all of you guys are very attractive girls. So like, I'm sure you're not in the lower echelon of high school where you're getting like bullied or ridiculed, like, you know. So yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go. So, but I will say that, you know, even when the movie exaggerates things, it still captures emotional truths, and that it does make for a memorable movie, you know, decades later.
And I do think, I mean, like, I understand your critiques and everything, but I do think, like, I feel like it doesn't have to be realistic, or, you know, like,
okay.
I like the symbolism, and the characters, you know, they don't, I understand where you're coming from, but I just don't feel like they're as much of a reason to give it a lower score.
Okay. I also did like I liked the two adults in the movie too. I think that they were pretty realistic, really. I mean, who didn't know a dean like that, or you know, like.
Well, I did.
I mean, just and he was I don't know if, I'm sure there's deans out there that are as kind of cruel and bullyish as he is, but I don't think I knew any like that, but I'm sure they exist. And you know, I don't think he's like that with everybody, but obviously when like guys like Bender push him far enough, you know, he
explodes.
He not just explodes, but he doesn't rise above it like a normal teacher should.
Yeah.
Like a good teacher would see through that, rise above it, and not stoop to that level.
Yeah.
But like he stoops to the level and like even threatens the kids. So like, it's.
I dislike that character.
Well, you're supposed to dislike him. He's an unlikable character, you know. And then the janitor is pretty great, you know. He's like a kind of a nice guy, except like, you know, when he sees his opportunity, he sees the teacher going through the files, and he knows he's not supposed to be.
Oh yeah.
He's like, what's in it for me? $50. He's like, hey man, everyone looks down at me because I'm the lowly janitor, but guess what? The lowly janitor is gonna, you know, blackmail you for $50 because, you know, it's, I don't know, kind of real. It felt very realistic, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, I did. I did like that. Yeah. All right. You want to get into the casting call?
Yeah.
All right. Casting call. All right. So we're going to run through this pretty quick. So we'll start with Emilio Estevez. He is the famous son of Martin Sheen and the brother of Charlie Sheen. He took his dad's real name. Martin Sheen's real name is Estevez. He was
Emilio Sheen.
Yeah.
I like it.
He was in The Outsiders, Repo Man, St. Elmo's Fire after this, and then he was in Maximum Overdrive, Stakeout, Young Guns 2. I like those movies. In the Mighty Ducks franchise, it was his big claim to fame. And then he was also in Free Jack, Loaded Weapon 1, another Stakeout, and then Judgment Night. He hasn't done a ton since then. He's done some directing. He's done some more acting, but like he's kind of mostly just counting his money. So, yeah, you know, I'm not going to go any further than that. He's still around. He's still relevant, but his heyday was the 80s and early 90s.
Yeah.
Paul Gleason was Richard Vernon. He is from, I personally know him from Trading Places as well as Die Hard. And we did do his filmography in Die Hard.
Was he in Die Hard?
He was he was like the head cop before the FBI showed up. He was like the head cop. I think we're going to need some more FBI guys. That was his line. Okay. So he's kind of a tool in that too. He's like a tool. He's either a protagonist or a tool in pretty much everything he's in, and he plays it very well.
A protagonist?
Antagonist. I apologize. Thank you, antagonist, and he does it very well. Anthony Michael Hall. He's still around. He was just in the Reacher TV show.
Anthony Michael Hall.
Yeah, he's great. He was especially great when he was younger. He was excellent as Rusty in the original Vacation. He was in this 16 Candles. He's amazing. I was just championing his performance in that when we reviewed that movie. Weird Science. He was part of the Brat Pack. All these guys were part of the Brat Pack. And he was in some more stuff later on, but he kind of bulked up. Johnny Be Good, Edward Scissorhands, and then he kind of died off a little bit. He was on the TV show The Dead Zone for about 5 or 6 years, and he's just done little things here and there ever since.
But he's so funny.
He was great. He was an excellent child actor. John Kapelos as Carl Reed, the janitor. I'm not going to say too much. I will, because again, I think we touched on him as well, because he was in three John Hughes movies back to back: 16 Candles, The Breakfast Club, and Weird Science. Small parts in all of them, but he's definitely someone John Hughes likes to reuse. He was the guy the sister was marrying in 16 Candles.
So like the jerk, like the
yeah.
Gotcha.
He's at dinner with his parents and I
know.
Yeah, and then he was there, and he's like in one of the bars that the kids were hanging out with, a Weird Science. He's like wearing this like pimp hat and stuff.
Okay.
But Judd Nelson, he kind of died off as well, like a lot of these child actors do. He was Bender.
Oh.
Also part of the Brat Pack. He was also in St. Elmo's Fire. 3 of these guys were all in St. Elmo's Fire like the next year. And it's funny is because in this, they're playing a high school student, and then all 3 of them in St. Elmo's Fire, which is like came out the same year or the year after, they're all playing like they're graduating college.
Oh.
It's like a 5-year age gap.
Yeah.
You know?
But I mean, like.
But they can, they're actors.
They can pass.
They do, and they do pass. So he was in something called Blue City. He was in the animated Transformers movie. He hasn't done a lot. He was
Is he alive?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He does little things here and there. I remember him in the Kevin Smith movie Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. He plays like a local sheriff in that. He's another Transformers movie. Yeah, he shows up here and there, but his career kind of fizzled off in the early 90s. Then Molly Ringwald, we definitely did her when we filmography when we did 16 Candles. She got her start in The Facts of Life in Different Strokes sitcoms, and then made her big break in 16 Candles, The Breakfast Club, and then Pretty in Pink, another part of the Brat Pack. After those 3 movies, she cut ties with John Hughes, and there was bad blood between the 2 of them ever since. She went on to do The Pickup Artist, Fresh Horses, Betsy's Wedding, Teaching Mrs. Tingle. She was in the ABC miniseries The Stand, Stephen King's The Stand, which I liked her in that. She played Franny in that. Franny Goldsmith, I think is her name. But yeah, you said she was in something that she was like the mom.
She was in The Mom in like the kissing booth.
Yeah. So, but again, all their careers kind of dropped off after the early 90s, I should say. Ali Sheedy, I always had a little crush on her when I was a kid. She did give her debut in the movie Bad Boys, not the Will Smith and Martin Lawrence movie, but the one with Sean Penn from like the early 80s, 1983. She was in Oxford Blues and then The Breakfast Club and St. Elmo's Fire, but it doesn't even say it here, but she was also in War Games with Matthew Broderick, which is where I first saw her and got my little crush on her in that movie. So I liked that movie a lot. I used to watch it all the time. It was always on HBO. Anyway, she kind of dropped off also. She was in Fear and High Art. Yeah, she doesn't do a lot.
Okay, so
That's it.
I was wondering this because I was like, what? Why is it called The Breakfast Club? Like, I
No
don't
idea.
get it.
Did you look
So
it
I
up?
looked it up.
Okay.
The title, The Breakfast Club, comes from a slang term used by Chicago area high school students for morning or Saturday detention. So because I live in Illinois, it's like a slang term for the kids who have Saturday detention.
Well, there you go. I had no idea. Thank you for that fun fact. I don't even
Yeah.
think that's not even in our fun facts. So
But yeah, the original name was the Lunch Bunch, which
Mhm.
thank God they didn't make
yeah,
that. But John Hughes changed it after one of his friends' sons mentioned that his school detention went by the Breakfast Club.
Oh, okay. Good to
Yeah.
know. Thank you for pulling that
Yeah.
fun fact out. Appreciate it.
So now we
You
can get
wanna-
into the actual plot, the synopsis, the summary,
Yes.
yada yada.
Yes.
So
Where you shine.
stop it. So on Saturday, March 24th, in 1984, is that when this actually came out, or is it like?
I think it came out in '85.
Okay. Five students.
So I guess that and St. Elmo's Fire came out the same year.
Maybe it did.
Yeah.
Well, I know St. Elmo's Fire came out like
And
85.
it did. Yeah.
So
And this came
perhaps
out.
this came out like early
85,
85.
yeah. Maybe early, yeah. Oh, let's ask Google. How many months apart did The Breakfast Club and St. Elmo's Fire come out?
The Breakfast Club and St. Elmo's Fire came out about 4 months apart, with St. Elmo's Fire released on June 28, 1985, just 4 months and 13 days after The Breakfast Club.
I don't know if the computer picked that up, but 4 months apart. That's not.
I'm sure it picked it
So
up.
it came
Wait,
out.
Is
Yeah.
your mic on?
What's that?
Oh, it is. Okay, good.
What?
I didn't know if your mic was
Oh
on.
yeah. So it came out 4 months apart, and they're playing characters like 5 years apart in the two movies. So
It's acting.
Judd
dumb.
Nelson, Ali Sheedy, and Emilio Estevez.
So yes, 5 students at Shermer High School in Shermer, Illinois.
Which I'll say makes sense because Molly Ringwald and Anthony Michael Hall were the only ones in the movie who were actually like 15 or 16 years old. Yeah, they were both
They were
they were 15 and 16 Candles, which came out in '84, and then they were 16 in this.
Wow.
They're like a couple months apart. They're like almost the same
Ew,
age.
that makes it yuck. Ew,
Yeah,
that makes it weird.
Yeah, she does the kissing scene with Judd Nelson.
Who?
You mean
Yes,
the kiss? Yeah,
yes,
yeah, for sure.
Ew.
He was like 24 years old.
Okay, anyways. Okay. They did the same thing in 15 and 16 Candles, didn't they? The guy is like 20.
Yeah, he's older than her, but they barely peck in that movie.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
At the very end, they just lean in and give each other a kiss
Okay.
over the cake. Yeah, there's like no make-out scene or anything.
They report for an all-day detention. Socially awkward nerd Brian Johnson, the brain. Jock Andrew Clark. He's the jock.
Emilio Estevez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The shy loner Allison Reynolds. She's the. What do they call her?
They call her the basket case.
Yeah, I guess it's an 80s term.
I don't know. I mean, like she would have been more like a goth girl in my school. That would have been like her.
I guess, but like because of the way she acts, it was a little less goth, a little more.
You're right. Goth girls weren't that nuts. Yeah,
she was like.
She's pretty off. Yeah.
Yeah.
She dressed a little like a goth
Right.
girl, but yeah, she was definitely like out there.
The popular girl, Claire Standish, she was like the princess, and the rebellious delinquent, John Bender, the criminal.
Yeah.
They gather in the school library and meet with their vice principal, Richard Vernon, who warns them not to talk or move from their seats and assigns each of them the task of writing a minimum 1,000-word essay describing who they think they are. And the criminal Bender ignores the rules and spends his time antagonizing the others and defying Vernon. So in the beginning, we see kind of like a clash between Vernon and Bender, and then it continues on. He's obviously being a jerk to the other kids, and then he gets them kind of in trouble because he like shuts the door right with Vernon.
Yeah, he takes a screw out of the door so it won't shut. Yeah.
And just pisses them off in general.
I do. One thing I like about this movie is that because he's the biggest guy in there, he's clearly the most scary looking guy in there, and he's dominating everybody in there. But I like that Emilio Estevez's character is both A, not scared of him, and B, puts him in his place and throws him to the ground when the guy puts his hands on him. And so it's like, yeah, so I'm glad that like they show there's somebody in there that can like,
Yeah.
not everyone, like that kind of
He
like,
doesn't step on everybody, I
he
guess.
doesn't step on, he tries because
Yeah.
that seems to be his MO. But I like that they threw somebody in there that was like, yeah, I'm gonna put you in check when I need to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
After lunch, the students sneak off to retrieve Bender's marijuana stash from his locker. Which is funny. I like the little scene with the running and everything. But yeah, when they see Vernon returning to the library, Bender deliberately gets caught, so he allows the others to sneak back in, which I think was a cute little sacrifice, because he already had like 2 months worth of detention that he earned because he pissed off Bender. What are you thinking about?
I was thinking about how in that movie, watching the movie in the 80s or 90s and watching them smoke marijuana, I remember thinking like, oh, that's really like, it's so, like that's bad. It's
so
naughty.
bad.
That's, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, wow, they're doing. And watching it now in today's world, I watched it thinking, wow, what an innocent time that was when you could actually just smoke marijuana and not have to worry about dying of fentanyl. Like, like, I mean, today's kids are like, you can't just do that, I mean, I'm sure some of them do anyway, but like when you do a recreational drug today, even something as would normally be harmless as marijuana, not that it's completely harmless, but as far as like nobody ever OD'd on marijuana ever in the entire history of the world until people started putting fentanyl in it. And now like you can't even do something as simple as that. And I'm not like encouraging people to do that. I'm just saying like, so it used to be like, oh my God, they're smoking marijuana. Like, oh, that's, oof. And now I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, these poor kids today, they can't even do something like that because they
Can't
might
even
die.
smoke marijuana.
I mean, like, even they did, like, they're taking their lives in their hands. It's crazy, like the world we live in.
I don't think it's that
It happens.
common.
It's common enough that who wants to put their life on the line just to get high? You know what I'm saying? Like, unless you're like an adult who went and got it at a dispensary, obviously, then yes, it's safe. But if you're like a high school student who obviously is not going to be buying marijuana at a dispensary, and someone's like, hey, I got a joint, back in the 80s or 90s, it's like, oh yeah, you shouldn't be doing that. But like, at least if you did do it, you're not worried you're going to die. And today, kids are like, all right, I'm taking my life in my hands right now because I don't know where this came from or what it is, and it could be laced with fentanyl and I could be dying right. Like that's, I was just thinking how what an innocent time the 80s was compared to today. That's all I was thinking about.
Yeah.
Not a lecture or anything like that. Just that's where my brain went when I was watching that scene. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. That's a very adult way of thinking about it. Locked in a storage closet as punishment, Bender is further berated by Vernon. And this makes me like, that scene was sad.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
Yeah, no, he was a real jerk to him. And
like, not even a jerk.
He was
like,
being abusive.
Very, like,
abusive, yeah. Yeah, he's being verbally and emotionally abusive to Bender. Like the kid doesn't have it bad enough at home, right? Yeah. He's got to get this from him. I mean, I get the teacher is frustrated with his, attitude and his antics, but that's not the way to handle it. Not the way to handle it.
Like that.
If that's how you're handling it, you're not in the right business, baby. You should not be working with students or teachers. Yeah, you should not be a teacher.
So
yeah.
Vernon tells him that he wants Bender to prove how tough he is and attempts to goad Bender into hitting him.
Mm-hmm.
Bender is visibly afraid and does not move. Which, it's very sad to see that.
Yeah.
After, especially you see this character that's so tough and so, like, he puts on this persona of, like, such a
tough guy.
To see him in that kind of state is very upsetting. After Vernon leaves him, he escapes into the ceiling panels and falls into the library. Yeah. Where the others hide him.
And that's another thing, like, in the beginning, you kind of hate Bender, right? Because he is, like, being a bully to everybody. He's pushing everybody around with the exception of the jock, obviously, who can handle him. Yeah. But that's why you kind of liked it when the jock threw him to the ground. You're like, oh, good. Finally, someone put this
I don't know.
guy,
I never
put this guy
hated
in.
Bender.
It finally said just kind of put this guy in his place because he was just being such a jerk to everybody and like throwing his weight around and trying to strong arm everybody. And so like I kind of didn't like his character, and then you see that part, and you're like now you feel bad for him.
Yeah.
I went from like disliking him to feeling sorry for him.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. But I don't know. Maybe it's because I've seen it before, but I
Yeah.
always felt bad for him.
Yeah.
Always.
Okay.
So he escaped from the library, and then the students pass the time arguing, listening to music, and smoking marijuana, gradually opening up about their home lives and their reasons for being in detention. So we'll go like character by character because this is important for the plot of the movie and everything. So Claire talks about her popularity and how it subjects her to intense peer pressure. While her bickering parents use her against each other, so they use like to one up each other and stuff.
Yeah.
To get back at each other. And she says that she received detention for skipping school to go shopping. We find that out in the beginning, actually.
Yeah.
One thing that made me like sad about her character was that good on her for being honest, I guess, but like not good on her for making this decision in the first place. But she was like, she basically said like, I wouldn't say hi to you in the hallway to Brian and Allison is her name. The basket case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And Bender, I guess. And I just like, I don't know. It's like so mean.
Yeah.
Like I get it. I guess.
She's being honest.
Yeah, but that's just so sad.
It
like,
is sad.
And it made Brian visibly very like upset.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But yeah.
Even though, I mean, with the exception of Brian, who's obviously the sweetest one there, even though when you find out what he's there for, that wasn't a very sweet thing to do. But I think Emilio Estevez's character is probably the sweetest one in there. He's kind through the whole movie.
Yeah.
Yes, he did an unkind thing to get in there, but like he
feels very bad about it.
So bad for it. He's so torn up about it, and he did it to impress his father.
Yeah.
And so and like he's constantly defending Brian, defending Claire. He even defends the basket case. He tries to help the basket case. Like he's like trying to like level. Like he could tell that there's something wrong. He's trying to get to the bottom of it. Like he's a very sweet character.
Yeah.
And he's also a tough guy. Like to me, that seems he's almost like the quintessential what a real man should be. Like you should be able to handle yourself and fight the bullies, and you should also be kind and considerate and compassionate to everybody. So like I like his character a lot, even though when I was growing up I didn't care for most of the jocks because they weren't that nice, but he certainly was.
Yeah, that's actually a good point.
Yeah.
Bender is who I sympathize with the most throughout the whole movie.
Okay.
I'm an empath, and even in the beginning, when you're supposed to hate him,
yeah,
the whole time I'm thinking like, this poor kid, why does he act like this? Like I'm never like, I hate this guy, he's such a jerk. Like the whole time I'm thinking like what, like I just because that's the way I am. I am like,
yeah. You might want to. I know I think you mentioned this once years ago, and then you kind of, but you might want to consider going into child psychology. I know you want to go into nursing, but like you still got time to change your mind. I think you'd be very good at that. Just throwing it out there.
That just made me so sad though.
Yeah.
Like terrified, like someone opening up, and I just like, that'd be so cool, truly. But like,
well, nursing can get pretty sad and scary too.
Yeah,
so.
But who knows? I think I'll discover a lot like when I do clinicals next year.
Yeah, you don't have to decide now.
And I think, who knows? I think I still have time. You know, even when I go into college, you don't start with your like major classes right away. You just start with like your recs.
Undeclared.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you don't have to decide.
There's always time, and maybe I'll find something. Like maybe I'll.
I mean, there are nurse practitioners that work in psychology, so like that's something you could. That's an avenue. That's the thing about nursing. There's so many avenues you can pursue. There's so many directions you can go with that.
But I like that. That's like an option for me. That's a cool thing
to do.
So.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like medical doctors, you probably won't need to take $1 million in loans out.
What?
I said, unlike a medical doctor, you probably wouldn't need to take out $1 million in loans to get your.
Yeah, I don't think you need to be a doctor to work in child psychology.
No, you could be a psychologist. They're not doctors. Psychiatrists are doctors. Psychologists probably have a master's, but they can't prescribe.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Like medicine, you mean?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Bender reveals the physical abuse he and his mother suffer at the hands of his father, including cigar burns and other injuries.
Yeah.
Which makes me so sad.
Yeah.
I was like, really, I was sad. He's serving detention for pulling the fire alarm, which is like so stupid. But
Yeah.
and obviously he craves attention that he doesn't receive at home.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, very sad. And like also like something you don't really notice, but like everyone in the beginning arrives in the car that their parents drove them to school, and he's like walking there like.
Yep. Yeah. Good point. Very good point. Even the basket case as it gets dropped off. Yeah. Yeah, no, he's a very sad character for certain, as unlikable as he is in the beginning. Yeah, he's definitely you're right. I can see why you have the most empathy for him, for sure.
Andrew became influenced by jock culture and is intimidated by his father to succeed in wrestling. So I guess his dad is like always putting pressure on him to win, and he's swallowed by that. And he was given attention for taping his students' buttocks, like
his butt cheeks together,
in an attempt to win both his teammates and his father's approval, but mostly his father. He talks about how he's like influenced by his dad. He kind of did it in hopes to like connect with his dad in a way, because his dad talked about how he was in high school and he is searching for his dad's approval because that's all he wants in life, even though he like doesn't even seem to like his father very much. He just wants him to.
Doesn't seem to like sports very much either.
Right. He just wants his dad to be proud of him, which is sad too.
He refers to himself like a show pony or like a sports horse, because he can run fast and he's strong. Like
that's what he's good for.
They put him to work, and that's all he's good for. And he really has no choices in the matter. He just does what everyone tells him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he even admits to that when the basket case is like, "That's your weakness." He's like, "Yeah, probably is."
Yeah. He does.
He's a great character.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yes.
I agree with you.
Yeah. He actually was supposed to play Bender.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think he. I don't know. Maybe
no.
I don't know. Maybe as an actor, he could have done good.
Emilio Estevez is a good enough actor. I think he could have done either role, but they basically couldn't find anybody for his role, so they said, "You know what? Can you play this role instead?" And they were going to get John Cusack to play Bender.
Joan or John?
John, and he was going to play Bender.
Okay.
And then they really wanted him, and somehow it fell through. I don't know if it was money or scheduling or whatever, but it wound up falling through, and they went with Judd Nelson, who I think did a fantastic job of it. So I honestly, after seeing Judd's performance, I can't picture anyone else doing it. And John Cusack is also a very fine actor, and I'm sure he could have pulled it off as well. But I
do love the actor.
Yeah,
the way he did it.
Judd's really good in this.
Yeah. Brian is under so much academic pressure from his parents to get good grades that he contemplates suicide after getting an F in shop class, which I don't know. I mean,
shows he's under a lot of pressure.
It's terrible.
Yeah,
like, that's so sad to think about. But I don't even know what kind of gun. What kind of gun did he have in his locker? It was like wasn't a
flare gun.
What does that mean?
It's like they usually have them on boats, and so if like you're stranded in the ocean or whatever, it's like a gun, but it shoots a big flare into the air.
Oh, so like a little fire, like a little light.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, if you shot yourself with it, I'm sure you'd do some damage. I doubt you'd kill yourself, though.
So he was sent to the detention for bringing a flare gun to school. Mm-hmm. But the gun exploded in his locker. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously you feel sympathy for everyone. Everyone has their struggles. But like, just because my parents don't put pressure on me for my grades that much, I feel like it's more myself. I feel like I didn't feel as much sympathy or connection. I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't feel a connection to Bender because my home life is really good, but I felt a lot of sympathy and empathy for him.
Sure.
But to Brian, I feel like his character. I just liked his character because he was a good person. You know, he was just like nice to everyone, and he was like understanding. But I didn't, just didn't emotionally connect with him as much.
Okay.
And same with Allison. She's compulsively dishonest and has neglectful parents.
Yeah. She says they ignore her.
Yeah. Right. Which
has got to be pretty terrible.
It's very sad.
It's another form of abuse.
At the same time,
it's another form of abuse.
Yeah.
But it's probably not as bad as getting cigar burns into your arm.
Right, and like hit, punch, but. But yeah, she steals and hoards small things. She
Yeah.
says that she's going to use them if should she ever run away, and she says that she showed up for detention for lack of anything better to do, and that was pretty sad.
Yeah, and that is definitely
I
the kind of girl that
sympathize.
there's a lot of runaways out there, and that's definitely like how she's like the beginning stages of a runaway, really.
I sympathize with her more because she doesn't have any friends rather than her parents. I'm sure her home life affects that as well.
Yeah, it's
But
really sad when she said.
but like if she's the fact that she like doesn't have any friends makes me really sad because
Yeah.
I can't imagine how lonely one would be. Like your parents don't talk to you, you don't have friends. Like
Yeah.
obviously you'd want to run away. So like that's it was sad. But I love this movie and these characters because it's a funny movie and it's
Mhm.
fun. But I love how it's like eye opening and you actually get to know these characters more and you get to see like, oh, there's actually like a side of them I didn't see before, and I like that a lot, especially as someone who's a teenager now, and obviously you experience
Mhm.
you experience each of these things and you know people who experience these things, and it's
And like I said, and then by the end of the 9 hours they're in there, she's she gets a makeover from Claire, and the jock is into
one
her.
thing I did not like is like why I don't like Bender and Claire or Andrew and Allison. Both those couples make no sense and I hate them. Please stop.
I was gonna go there too about Bender and Claire too. I'm like, really?
No.
Like she would not go for him. Even if she's slightly attracted to the bad boy thing, like
He was just so
he
was just disrespectful and dirty towards her.
Exactly. So yeah, I don't see that happening either.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And also the jock and the basket case, I would be kind of offended if like, oh, all of a sudden you like me now because I have some pretty makeup on, and like, or
But
like
he was showing an interest in her before that, though. He was, remember when he was really trying to like.
Maybe he was being nice.
Yes.
I don't know if he was showing interest.
Well, maybe. It's hard to say. He wasn't like hitting on her, but he was certainly showing an interest in her and trying to get to the bottom of what was happening to her and trying to really connect with her. So
yeah, I guess so. But still, I don't love that they coupled up in the end. Like
that one didn't seem as far fetched as Bender and Claire, but it still felt a little forced. It felt forced.
Agree to disagree. I feel like Claire and Bender felt less forced than the other one.
Okay, you say so.
Just because they had like a flirty
tension,
banter, but I just don't like the way Bender spoke to Claire. I just feel like I wouldn't kiss a guy after he talked to me like that way.
I should hope not.
Yeah. Okay, so just to wrap it up. Despite their differences, the students realize they all face similar problems.
Yeah.
Andrew and Allison, so they bond over their complex relationship with their parents. Brian and Claire each feel anxiety over being virgins. The group suspects that their new friendship will end once the tension is over. They do admit they will look at their peers differently from now on. That's a little sad, as I said earlier. It's kind of like, we're not really gonna be friends after this. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Vernon complains to the janitor, Carl, that the students have become increasingly arrogant over the course of his teaching career. But Carl suggests that Vernon is the one who has changed and cares too much about what the students think of him.
I agree with Carl. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids
are always going to be kids.
Exactly.
There's always going to be difficult kids.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. I every now and again, being in my early 50s, I'll have a get off my lawn moment, and I gotta put myself in check. Be like, dude, really?
Yeah.
You were a little skateboarder running the neighborhood when you were a kid. Like, come on, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing wrong with these kids. They're just being kids. Like, lighten up.
Kids, I mean, things change, but kids are always going to be the same. Yeah,
for sure.
The group convinces Brian to complete Vernon's essay on everyone's behalf. Claire gives Allison a makeover, which sparks romantic interest from Andrew. So, that's a little...
Mm-hmm.
And Bender crawls back through the ceiling to the closet, where Claire challenges her pristine reputation by kissing him. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just confused. Was she like, they said that she was a virgin and she like never had her first kiss?
Mm-hmm.
So, like that was like crazy. Like, all right.
Yeah, and then she gives him one of her diamonds.
Why? That's so stupid too.
Like, your father gave those to you, and you're gonna give one to this criminal.
Like one.
Well, I think you only had the one. You had the one ear pierced.
I guess, but like
Yeah.
that's a diamond, babe. Like that.
Yeah. Like I said, that's why for me this was a B. And,
But I still like it enough to give it an A minus.
Again, they do get the emotions and feelings and worries of teens correct, and that's why I did like it. They even if they were all stereotypes, they're still definitely what they were going through resonated with me, and certainly I can understand that every teen goes through one of or multiple of those things.
Yeah. So they each share their little cases at the end. Vernon reads Brian's essay, which asserts that the vice principal has made petty assumptions about all of them, and declares that each one of us is a brain, an athlete, a basket case, a princess, and a criminal. Does that answer your question? Sincerely yours, The Breakfast Club. Which is cute. It's a little connection between all of them.
Yeah.
And then Bender walks home across the school's football field,
Go ahead.
triumphantly raising his fist in the air.
There you go. So yeah, that's good synopsis. Good job, honey.
Thanks.
All right. There's quite a bit of trivia, so I'm glad we're only we're at about the 40-minute mark, so we can go ahead and kick it off.
There is quite a bit.
We don't
have to read all of it.
We don't.
But,
we do not. We do not.
You can start.
Oh, thank you.
Of
All right.
course.
So the scene in which all the characters sit in a circle on the floor in the library and tell stories about why they were in detention was not scripted. Writer and director John Hughes told them all to ad-lib. Although I'm sure he gave them he told them
ideas.
Exactly. Like, by the way, you're in here for this, you're in here for this, and you're in here for this. So John Hughes later said that his biggest regret about this film was using the breaking glass effect during the marijuana scene. What did I say?
That's so stupid. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, like an opera singer might break a glass, but him just screaming is not going to break the glass door. So yeah, I agree with you, John Hughes. That was probably the dumbest part of the movie.
Yeah.
In 2010, Molly Ringwald and Anthony Michael Hall told Vanity Fair magazine that John Hughes was receptive to the actors and actresses' improvisations, and some of them, including Brian's reason for having a fake ID so I can vote. That was funny.
I laughed at that. Oh my god.
Made it into the film. Yeah.
Judd Nelson, who played Bender, stayed in character off camera, even bullying Molly Ringwald. John Hughes nearly fired him over this, but Paul Gleason, who played Vernon, defended Nelson, saying he was a good actor and was trying to get in character. Which, I don't know, I feel like you can be a good actor without being an asshole off screen, but, sorry, can I say that?
You just did.
Just gonna have to bleep you.
I'm too tired.
The film was shot in sequence, so, yeah.
There you go.
It was originally suggested that there would be several sequels to this movie occurring every 10 years in which the Breakfast Club would get back together. This did not come to pass due to the volatile relationship between John Hughes and Judd Nelson. He stated that he would never work with Nelson again, and it was unclear whether or not Hughes still held ill will against his off-cast starlet Molly Ringwald, because they also had a falling out. Bender's flinch when Vernon fakes a punch was genuine. Judd Nelson really thought that Paul Gleason was going to hit him.
Judd Nelson improvised the part at the closing of the film where Bender raises his fist in the defiance. He was supposed to just walk away, but John Hughes asked him to play around with a few actions. When they were finishing up, Nelson threw up his fist. Okay, I already mentioned this one about John Cusack auditioning and wanting to be Bender. Anthony Michael Hall's mother, Mercedes Hall, and his younger sister, Mary Christian, played his character's mother and sister in the movie. So that was his real mother and sister. That's great.
Cute.
Emilio Estevez was originally going to play Bender. However, John Hughes could not find someone to play Andrew, so Estevez agreed to play him, like I said earlier. According to Molly Ringwald, Claire originally was to have pasta salad for lunch. Ali Sheedy suggested to John Hughes that Claire eat sushi instead, which I think was a very fitting suggestion. That's a very posh food to eat for lunch, especially a high school kid bringing sushi to school.
For lunch?
Especially in the mid-'80s, like that was barely a thing, sushi.
Yeah.
It's a lot more common now, so
I love sushi.
Yeah, it's delicious, but I never brought it to lunch in high school.
Right.
Originally, only Claire was supposed to dance, but Molly Ringwald felt uncomfortable dancing alone, so John Hughes had the entire cast dance. Ringwald said that she regrets this because not only did she think her dancing was bad, her inability to do the dance solo led to the artifice of the MTV type choreographed dancing, which she felt hurt the movie.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's fine. It's just her insecurities. Judd Nelson's in fact, I thought she was a good dancer. You know,
When did she dance?
and she was like, they were all dancing at one point.
Yeah, but like.
Yeah, and that's when they showed the three boys doing the thing like that. I'm like, really?
Okay, they were high. It was like
I guess it felt very forced. Didn't feel realistic at all.
whatever.
All right. Judd Nelson's clothes in the movie are the outfit he auditioned in for the role of John Bender. Speaking of Judd Nelson, he made up the term used in the movie Neo Maxi Zune Dweeby. Okay. It was Ali Sheedy's idea to put Captain Crunch cereal in the sandwich to give it an extra crunch sound.
So weird.
It was so gross when she's using the dandruff on her head to make it snow on the picture.
Oh, that was so weird.
Good picture, though. She was a very, Ali Sheedy made that.
Talented,
but whoever drew that was very talented.
The David Bowie quote at the beginning of the movie is pulled from his song Changes. It can be found on his 1971 album Hunky Dorky. And Ali Sheedy suggested the quote to John Hughes, and they included it.
It can also be found on what I personally have is David Bowie's greatest hits album. But yeah, it's a good song.
Anthony Michael Hall hit a growth spurt during production. According to Judd Nelson, Hall was shorter than him at the start of the production, but at the end of it, he was taller than him. The same thing happened with Hall during the production of National Lampoon's Vacation. It's cute. The dandruff that Allison shakes on his head on her pencil drawing for snow was achieved by sprinkling Parmesan cheese. Ugh. Actress Ali Sheedy did not actually use her real dandruff, as she is often accused of doing. She did, however, really eat the sandwich filled with pixie stick dust and unrefined sugar. Ew.
Where are we at?
John Hughes.
John Hughes said getting the film greenlit by Universal wasn't easy because the executives complained there were no bare breasts, no party scene, no guys drinking beer, or other things they thought a teenage picture needed at the time. Which coincidentally, 60 Candles had all three.
Bare breast? No.
Yeah. Yeah, when they show the girl in the shower in the beginning of the movie, and Molly Ringwald was looking at her like jealous. Yeah, there's a party scene, there's drinking scene. Yeah, it's got all of it. Well, that and I for one am happy with the Breakfast Club that it didn't force all that stuff in there.
Yeah,
because that's what is expected of a teen movie.
I was confused why it was rated R though, just because I feel like
the language.
I guess.
Yeah, just for the language, and you know, they're doing
maybe
drugs.
Like the sensitive topics, I guess.
Yeah, and they're doing drugs in the movie, and that's definitely, you know.
I guess.
But yeah, it's not all teens, you know, show their breasts and party and drink beer, and even if all of them do, that's not what they're the only thing they're about. You know, they're
and that's
very.
Not what the movie was
you know,
about.
Most teenagers are like any other human being out there. They're nuanced. You know, adults also get naked and party and drink alcohol, but you don't see that in every single adult film. Yeah. So why do you have to see it in every single teen film?
Wow, spitting facts here.
Word.
Take notes.
Okay. So, this was interesting. I knew this already. The theme song, Don't You Forget About Me, was written for the film by Keith Forsey. It was a #1 hit for Simple Minds, and Billy Idol, and apparently Brian Ferry, who I don't know, but I did know that Billy Idol turned it down offers to record it first. But apparently Billy Idol did record it on his Greatest Hits album in 2001, which I had no idea. The song was also turned down by Chrissy Hynde of the Pretenders, but she's the one who suggested they offer it to Simple Minds, the band fronted by her husband at the time. I did not know that. I was like, Johnny Carson. I did not know that. So. Yeah. So Ali Sheedy had first auditioned for the part of Samantha Baker in 16 Candles, which went to Molly Ringwald. When Sheedy auditioned, she had 2 black eyes from a set building accident. The black eyes gave her a dark gothic image, which stayed with Hughes. When it was time to cast the part of Allison, he remembered her and called her.
Oh.
Yeah.
The joke that Bender tells while he's crawling through the ceiling but never finishes actually has no punchline. According to Judd Nelson, he ad-libbed the line. Originally, he was supposed to tell a joke that would end with when he came back into the library and said, "Forgot my pencil," but no one could come up with a punchline for the joke. I don't even remember
I barely remember it either because there was no punchline.
Yeah. Allison does not speak until 25 minutes in the movie, uttering a mock "ha" in response to Claire. Yeah, she's like little squeaks, but
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Vernon is based on a wrestling coach from John Hughes High School. Bender continuously provokes Vernon into giving him extra Saturday detentions. It is later implied that Bender does this intentionally because he'd rather be with Vernon at school on a Saturday than home with his abusive father. And it is also implied when in the closet scene that he acts the way he does because he'd rather have people think he's a tough troublemaker than a troubled abused victim. Wow.
Yeah.
Very sad.
Hurt people, right?
Yeah.
That's why a lot of bullies when they're getting bullied themselves at home.
Yep.
Not all, but a lot.
Bullied in some way.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
The switchblade used in the movie actually belonged to Judd Nelson. He explained that he had it for production purposes. Okay. And Emilio Estevez, Judd Nelson, and Ali Sheedy played high school students. So yeah, in the same year they played college graduates in St. Elmo's Fire.
During a cast reunion in honor of the film's 25th anniversary, Ali Sheedy revealed that a director's cut existed, but Hughes' widow did not disclose any details concerning its whereabouts. The cast all agreed later that Ali Sheedy was the best answer out of the five of them. You want to go there?
Yeah. Despite Vernon wanting a 1,000-word essay from everyone, the final essay ended up being a total of 96 words. Yeah, it was like, I saw it, like it was like a page.
Yeah.
It's not even. Stanley Kubrick watched The Breakfast Club 4 times and was really impressed with Anthony Michael Hall's performance. He compared Hall to a young Spencer Tracy. He wanted to cast him in the lead role of PVT Joker?
Private Joker
in his upcoming film Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah.
But after months of negotiation, Hall turned down the offer, and the part went to Matthew Modine.
Matthew Modine. I have a Full Metal Jacket story. I had never seen that movie until basic training. I was in the Army. Our company had like 3 platoons, and my platoon won the there was like a competition for like who had the best physical training scores, and my platoon won. So our treat was we got to have a pizza party with a movie, and they wheeled in like one of those. You probably don't remember these, but they wheeled in like a TV
square on the table.
TV. They wheeled in the TV on a table, and then they had a VCR in there, and the movie was picked by the drill sergeants, and it was Full Metal Jacket. But they really shouldn't have picked that movie because, we were like 4 weeks into basic training, and you listen to this drill sergeant in the movie, and you can clearly see that all the lines that our drill sergeants were using on us were taken from this movie. Like, everything they said was taken right out of this movie. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys are like revealing to us where you got all this stuff. It was funny, and I was like, "Really? This is the movie you guys picked? You're like basically like you're showing your cards here."
Right.
Yeah.
Molly Ringwald has declared in interviews that "When you grow up, your heart dies," said by Allison Reynolds in this movie, is her favorite line.
Yeah, it's a sad line, and I don't agree with that. I can see why a teenager might think that.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's the case.
In the TV show, like fake version that I watched, it was like when you grow up, your butt sags. That was the thing.
Well, that's true. That one's more true than your heart dying. That's not true. It's just some. I guess some people's hearts harden a little, but I don't think everybody's.
No.
So let's just do a couple more. We'll call it a podcast. Yeah. So Nicolas Cage was originally considered for the role of John Bender, but the production could not afford his salary at the time. John Cusack was originally cast as John Bender, but then John Hughes decided to replace him with Judd Nelson right before shooting began. And finally, Brian's father, who picks him up at the end of the film, is actually John Hughes.
Wow.
Doing a little cameo. So there you go. That was, you know what? I think I've changed my mind about what we're gonna do for the next movie.
Serious?
Yeah. because I can't believe we haven't done it yet. And I was going to do The Empire Strikes Back, which we're going to get to very soon.
Okay.
But I think we're going to do a movie that's on the wall right now, right above your head.
Do we have to?
You don't like that movie?
I've never seen it, but it looks
Yeah, you
so
have seen it. It's so amazing.
Big Trouble in Little China?
Yes, you saw it when you were little.
I don't want to watch that.
So next week, or not next week, because this comes out every 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, we are going to do Big Trouble in Little China. One of my very favorite movies. Let's hopefully we'll make her a fan out of it.
Well, I'm going to give my honest opinion, so.
Don't you always?
Of course. Yeah, I do.
So this has been another episode of Rewind Gen X Podcast with Matt and Allie. I'm Matt.
And I'm Allie.
God bless.